Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Daphne's first move, Taylor's showdown. Here are the spoilers for Friday, January 17, 2025's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans may anticipate Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes facing off in tomorrow's show. Fans may also observe what Daphne Rose intends to accomplish initially in order to implement the strategy. Find out what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera by reading on. The Broken Heart of Brooke Logan. According to Friday, January 17 B&B teasers, Brooke is devastated about losing Ridge Forrester. In addition to losing Ridge as a sexual partner, Brooke also lost Ridge as a friend. Brooke is viewed by Ridge as a traitor and a betrayer. Ridge left Brooke and went directly to Taylor after he stormed out of the house. Brooke should make an effort to move on from Ridge, but she simply cannot. Brooke will return to the Forrester home because she is obsessed with Ridge. B&B spoilers, the face-off with Taylor Hayes. Brooke and Taylor end up facing off again on Friday, January 17. The return of Steffi Forrester Finnegan to Forrester Creations gave Brooke hope. Perhaps Brooke believes that the hearts of the others will also be softer. However, Brooke is mistaken about that. You may anticipate another heated argument between Taylor and Brooke. The confidence of Steffi Forrester Finnegan. According to Friday, January 17 spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi believes her plan is infallible. Steffi believes that ending a romantic relationship at work is the key to regaining her company. Daphne is banking on Steffi's belief that no man can resist her. Since Steffi is now permitted to return, Daphne will probably initiate contact. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne's first move, Taylor's showdown. Friday, January 17, 2025, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Carter Walton won't be the only one Daphne entices. Additionally, Steffi told Daphne to separate Carter and Hope Logan. Steffi is certain that Hope was the initial cause of the takeover. Carter came up with the idea, but Hope is just following along. What would happen, then, if Carter didn't change the LLC plan even after he and Hope parted ways? It's also possible that Carter is impervious to Daphne's allure in some way. How would things turn out if Carter resists Daphne's temptation? Taylor agrees to move in after Ridge hangs up on Brooke. According to Friday, January 17 spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester both thought it was odd that Steffi was back at work. Hope acknowledged that her mother wasn't in the building at the moment, but Steffi wanted to run something by Brooke Logan. The cost of Brooke's most recent betrayal since losing Ridge Forrester caused some friction. Steffi was happy that Brooke was permanently removed from Ridge's life and felt it was a lesson in karma. Steffi was happy to see Ridge reunited with Taylor Hayes, despite his past addiction to Brooke. When Brooke arrived at the Cliff House, he confronted Taylor about abusing the circumstance with Ridge. Taylor clarified that she didn't plot to do this when Brooke accused her of being a traitor. Nevertheless, Taylor was happy to be back with Ridge and thought Brooke would just have to accept it. Taylor hurried off to see Ridge after making optimistic promises about their future together. Before discussing the difficulties in his romantic life, Ridge discussed Steffi's strategy with Eric Forrester and Zend Forrester Dominguez at the Forrester mansion. Ridge was obviously drawn to Taylor because he felt he could trust her, even if he wasn't sure he had ever really known Brooke. Ridge spoke with Justin Barber over the phone later and appeared optimistic about his progress in thwarting the takeover. Taylor informed Ridge about Brooke's uncomfortable visit as soon as she got there. Ridge shifted the conversation to their intended cohabitation and recommended that Taylor relocate into the Forrester estate while they finalized their preparations for the beach house. Taylor concurred, saying it was worth the wait and that she was glad to be with Ridge again. During Friday's B&B episode, Taylor took a leave of absence, allowing Ridge to answer a private call from Brooke. After Brooke vented to Hope, she called Ridge and attempted to persuade him that their relationship wasn't really over. Brooke looked distraught because Ridge was chilly toward her and ended up hanging up on her. Lee Finnegan wanted Poppy Nozawa in the hospital to validate her long-held suspicions. Lee believed Poppy had been sleeping with Jack Finnegan while she was away pursuing her medical profession. Lee sought a confession from Poppy, claiming she had betrayed her with her own husband. Poppy stood there looking overwhelmed after Lee forced her sister to acknowledge that Jack was the father of Luna Nozawa. Brooke Logan's startling new relationship. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Brooke Logan's startling new romance. According to spoilers, Brooke Logan will soon be single and prepared to socialize. No one's man is safe when Brooke Logan is out and about. Will she weep on the shoulders of her former partner or someone unexpected after her upcoming breakup with Ridge Forrester? See the spoilers below to see what happens next on B&B. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Brooke Logan's new man? Ted King announced this week that Jack Finnegan will be causing havoc on Bold and the Beautiful while returning to Los Angeles. Initially, Jack Finnegan was presented as the spouse of Lee Finnegan and the father of Dr. John Finnegan. However, there are rumors on the internet that he is coming back because he might also be the father of Luna Nozawa, the murderer daughter of Poppy Nozawa. According to B&B spoilers, Ted King and lonely Brooke Logan may cross paths while he is back in town resolving his own family issues. Fans of the soap opera were certain that Brooke would hook up with one of her ex-boyfriends, such as Deacon Sharp or Dollar Bill Spencer, following her split from Ridge. However, it would be a welcome change to see her start a new relationship and add another person to her rotation. B&B spoilers, the return of Jack Finnegan may bring problems. Fascinatingly, Jack Finnegan may not be as nice as he seems. According to rumors, he may have killed Hollis and Tom Starr in order to hide his biological daughter. Hey, people won't ask her questions if her false dad is dead, right? Jack was at Il Giardino when the singing pizza guy died on stage, in addition to being in town when Tom and Hollis passed away. In addition to having the tools to poison Tom Starr, he now has a reason for doing so. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke can fall in love with a serial murderer if she isn't careful. Is Jack Finnegan a villain in your opinion? Will he get along well with Brooke Logan? Ridge and Taylor eloped in a private ceremony abroad, leaving a path of chaos in their wake, in a startling turn of events that rocked the Forrester family to its foundation. Everyone was shocked by the famous couple's hasty decision to revive their romance and make it official, but Brooke Logan was particularly taken aback and incensed by the news. Although Ridge and Taylor's decision was motivated by their common past, a desire to move away from their family's drama, and a desire for a fresh start, their impulsive action only served to heighten tensions and widen the gaps in the Forrester-Logan story. Ridge's growing disenchantment with the ongoing drama in his relationships marked the beginning of the story. Even though he had a strong bond with Brooke, their union had been marred by miscommunication, mistrust, and outside intervention. In contrast, Ridge had always thought of Taylor as a more solid and tranquil option. Ridge realized that he still had a particular place in his heart for Taylor as their paths crossed more often, whether because of family issues or their mutual worry for their kids. Despite her earlier promises to move on, Taylor, who had always been the picture of grace and compassion, was unable to resist her lingering love for Ridge. Their audacious choice was spurred by a fortuitous trip to Monte Carlo for an event hosted by Forrester Creations. Ridge and Taylor found themselves in a beautiful coastal setting that seemed to reflect the tranquility they desired in their relationship, far from the prying eyes and critical murmurs of Los Angeles. Ridge made the impromptu idea, "Why don't we just do it now?" as they reflected on their shared memories and envisioned a future free from the turmoil of their past, took Taylor entirely by surprise. She hesitated for a second before realizing that her heart had already decided for her. The ceremony itself was quite enchanting. Ridge and Taylor exchanged their vows under the golden glow of a Mediterranean sunset, expressing their unwavering love and resolve to move on from the past. Only a local officiant and a few bystanders who supported the pair as they sealed their union with a kiss were present at the intimate event. For Ridge, it was a flash of insight, an opportunity to select a pure, burden-free love. It was a dream come true for Taylor, who at last experienced the stability and tranquility she had so desperately sought. But their elopement's magic didn't last long. The fallout started as soon as Ridge and Taylor got back to Los Angeles. The first person to welcome them to the Forrester mansion was Brooke, who had been excitedly anticipating Ridge's return. As Ridge casually remarked, "Taylor and I got married," her face brightened up with anticipation before freezing in utter astonishment. For a brief moment, there was silence, broken only by Brooke's disbelieving giggle, as if she was still processing the seriousness of what she had just heard. But her astonishment soon gave way to rage as reality sank in. "Ridge, how could you have done this?" With a voice trembling with a mixture of anger and betrayal, Brooke demanded. You just toss everything away for this, after everything we've gone through, after all the promises you made." Her gaze strayed to Taylor, who was standing composedly next to Ridge and exuded the serene assurance of a woman who had at last taken her rightful position at his side. Brooke's anger was only heightened by Taylor's composure. Brooke became angry with Taylor and yelled, "And you? You were eager to jump in and seize what wasn't rightfully yours." With measured words, Taylor, who was always the calm antithesis to Brooke's fiery manner, answered. "Brooke, this wasn't about taking anything away from you. This was about Ridge and I coming to terms with each other." Brooke was even more incensed by her composed tone, accusing Taylor of controlling Ridge and taking advantage of his weaknesses. "We deserve a chance to be happy without all the toxicity that's surrounded us for years." Ridge, who was clearly conflicted but steadfast in his decision to support his new bride, found himself in the center of a furious argument. A variety of reactions were triggered when the Forrester and Logan families learned about Ridge and Taylor's elopement. As a long-awaited confirmation that Ridge and Taylor were destined to be together, Steffi and Thomas were overjoyed by their parents' union. Steffi, who had long pushed for her parents to get back together and stop the never-ending drama with Brooke, felt especially victorious. However, Hope and Liam responded more cautiously since they understood the emotional toll that the marriage would have on Brooke. The father of the family, Eric Forrester, had conflicting emotions. Even while he respected Ridge's will to find happiness, he was concerned about the possible repercussions for the family and the business. In a private talk, Eric informed his son, "Ridge, you've always followed your heart." Although Ridge acknowledged the worries, he remained adamant that he had taken the right decision. "But I hope you've thought this through, because this decision doesn't just affect you, it affects all of us." Brooke's suffering transformed into a will to fight back as she struggled with the betrayal. Her sisters, Donna and Katie, were resolute in their support after she confided in them. With her protective instincts taking over, Donna pleaded, "You can't let them get away with this. You've been through too much to just let Ridge walk away like this." Brooke vowed not to let Taylor's victory go unchallenged and started planning how to regain her place in Ridge's life. Knowing that Brooke would not be defeated easily, Taylor prepared herself for the inevitable aftermath. As Brooke and Taylor's animosity started to affect Forrester Creations, the two women's tensions began to affect their careers. Meetings turned into battlefields, with their personal hostility influencing choices on the company's future. Between his obligations as Brooke's business partner and his role as Taylor's husband, Ridge found himself in a more vulnerable position. Employees and family members were compelled to choose sides in the growing dispute, causing the previously united Forrester team to disintegrate. Ridge and Taylor were adamant about starting a life together in spite of the turmoil. They established a haven away from the drama when they moved into the beach house. However, suspicions started to surface even in their own sanctuary. While Taylor struggled with the worry that their happiness might not last long given all the criticism, Ridge couldn't deny the lingering remorse over how his choice had wounded Brooke. Despite the severe obstacles they faced, the couple's love was strong. The consequences of Ridge and Taylor's elopement kept reverberating across their lives as the weeks passed. Encouraged by her suffering, Brooke began a campaign to regain Ridge's affection, reminding him of their past and the life they had created together at every turn. In response, Taylor made an effort to strengthen her relationship with Ridge by reminding him of their shared ideal of a tranquil future. In the meantime, Steffi and Thomas came together in support of their mother, resolved to do whatever it took to ensure her happiness. Brooke and Taylor were engaged in a struggle for control of their respective future visions. Caught in the crossfire, Ridge had to confront the difficult challenge of negotiating the emotional minefield he had erected. His choice to wed Taylor had been motivated by love and hope, but it had a high cost, one that he and the women he loved would have to bear. The drama surrounding Ridge and Taylor's elopement is expected to be an emotional roller coaster filled with surprises and high-stakes confrontations, in typical Bold and the Beautiful fashion. One thing is certain: when the dust settles, this is just the start of a tale that will push the boundaries of forgiveness, love, and loyalty. Nothing remains hidden for very long in the expansive drama of the Bold and the Beautiful, and secrets tend to surface when the stakes are at their highest. Ever the strong and tenacious character in the Forrester Logan series, Brooke Logan has discovered something that has the potential to drastically alter the lives of everyone in her immediate vicinity. Although Taylor Hayes has long been a rival in both romantic and familial affairs, Brooke's recent discovery, a potential hint that Taylor may have fabricated a serious illness in order to control Ridge and win his loyalty, threatens to change the balance of power in their continuous conflict. The discovery started out harmlessly enough. Following Ridge and Taylor's recent intimacy, Brooke found herself thinking back on the many facets of their triangle. She began revisiting instances from their recent past, determined to find out what had caused Ridge to turn away from her once more. One evening when Brooke was at Forrester Creations, she was intrigued to a folder in Ridge's office that held old schedules and notes from his personal calendar. One item in particular, a reference to a medical visit Taylor claimed to have attended during a period of increased tension between them, stood out among the ordinary notes and client meetings. The appointment had always felt strangely appropriate, taking place at the very moment Ridge was debating whether to remain faithful to Brooke or to pursue his romance with Taylor again. Brooke chose to pursue the thread out of curiosity and uneasiness. Brooke put together a timeline of events that sparked even more questions with the assistance of her sister Donna, who had heard bits and pieces of conversations at Forrester family get-togethers. Why had Taylor's diagnosis been so ambiguous? Why, when Taylor revealed the specifics of her purported illness, had Ridge been so eager to overlook earlier grievances? The more Brooke considered it, the less the parts fit together. She then went to her sister Katie, a crucial confidant. Brooke shared her suspicions over coffee. "Katie, I know this seems strange, but what if Taylor made up her sickness, or worse, overstated it, in order to control Ridge?" Brooke's voice wavered, a mixture of fury and disbelief. Katie, ever the practical one, warned her against making snap judgments without proof. "Brooke, everything would change if what you're saying is accurate. But before you confront anyone, especially Ridge, you should be certain." Inspired by Katie's calm reaction, Brooke made the decision to learn more. She used her connections in the Forrester network to covertly get in touch with a mutual acquaintance who was employed at the hospital Taylor had allegedly visited. It was nothing short of shocking what she discovered there. During the relevant period, the facility did not have any documentation of Taylor Hayes receiving treatment or receiving a diagnosis for any disease. Brooke's suspicions were stoked by this discovery, even if it was not conclusive evidence of dishonesty. Equipped with this knowledge, Brooke started reliving the exchanges she had with Ridge during that turbulent time. She remembered how he had praised Taylor's bravery and tenacity, how her ability to persevere in the face of hardship had motivated him. Brooke had been too preoccupied with her own heartache at the time to question the details, but now that she had the luxury of hindsight, the contradictions were obvious. Ridge had used Taylor's condition as motivation to prioritize their relationship and concentrate on her health. The consequences would be devastating if that foundation was based on deception. Brooke found herself in an unexpected encounter with Taylor as she struggled with what to do next. The animosity between the two women was evident when they met at a family get-together at the Forrester home. Taylor couldn't help but make a subtle remark after noticing Brooke's discomfort. "Brooke, are you still clinging to the past? I've moved on with Ridge. Perhaps it's time you did too." Brooke chose not to confront Taylor directly, and she bit her tongue. Rather, she smiled cryptically in response. The past can occasionally come to light when you least expect it to. Brooke's self-control was short-lived. She confided in Eric later that night, asking for his advice and encouragement. Ever the sensible one, Eric cautioned, "I found something that could change everything for Ridge and Taylor, but I don't know how to handle it." Brooke, you must carefully consider what to do next. The consequences could be disastrous if you're mistaken. However, Ridge deserves to know the truth if you're correct. The pivotal moment occurred when Brooke chose to tell Ridge about her suspicions. She rounded on him in his Forrester Creations office and presented her findings. With a steady but urgent tone, Brooke said, "Ridge, I need you to listen to me. I believe Taylor may have given you false information concerning her sickness. Too many things don't add up." Ridge, who was clearly surprised, attempted to brush off her assertions. "Brooke, this sounds like someone who is jealous." However, Ridge's faith faltered as Brooke revealed the specifics, the lack of medical records, the convenient timing, and the contradictions in Taylor's account. "What makes her lie about something so important, more to himself than to Brooke?" Ridge asked. Brooke was somewhat emboldened by the skepticism in his voice. "Consider it, Ridge. Taylor might have been so frantic to keep you if she felt like she was losing you. Even this. The consequences of Brooke's disclosure are expected to be profound." Ridge struggles with his own uncertainties as a result of being caught between his allegiance to Taylor and the unpleasant thought that Brooke might be correct. Taylor, meanwhile, is blissfully oblivious to the fissures that are developing beneath the surface of her rekindled relationship with Ridge, oblivious to the storm that is building around her. Brooke is aware that the stakes are quite high as she gets ready for the impending encounter. In addition to destroying her credibility, Taylor's relationship with Ridge and the entire Forrester family would suffer irreversible harm if she pretended to be unwell. However, the backlash can further isolate Brooke and increase Taylor's control over Ridge if her suspicions turn out to be false. This developing drama promises to push the boundaries of loyalty, trust, and redemption in typical Bold and the Beautiful fashion. The fundamental dilemma still stands as Brooke and Taylor's conflict intensifies. Will the truth release Ridge or will it strengthen his bond with Taylor? Time will tell.